Even if you are an adult, what is something that you are never truly too old for? About 10 plus years ago there was a craze of coloring books for adults, and it didn't even necessarily involve Rule 34. Check Amazon. Yup, still available. I suck at coloring and folding and cutting in straight lines and talking to girls. It was cute when I was 5, but I'm ready to be done with these insecurities now. Sledding in snow tunnels, puzzles, kicking up piles of dead leaves, cavorting like a seal at the deep end of the pool, cannonballing off the end of the dock, sandcastles, licking bowls of cake and cookie dough, insert health warning legal boilerplate here, faces in the mirror and funny noises, bursting into song when washing dishes, smelling flowers, saying we. When driving on a curvy hilly road. I'm 63. Feeling too old for stuff. Seriously, unless you physically can't do something, you're never really too old for hobbies or fun things you did when you were younger. The sooner you learn to drop that phrase "I'm too old for X," the better you'll be. When my boys were little I would tuck them in bed, then I would put my hands on either side of their body above the blanket and while pushing up and down, slow then fast, would sing, "You snoogaysab you gana rug, snoogaysab you gana rug, snoogaysab you gana rug." They would laugh and ask for more, and it is now a fond memory. My kids are adults now, and the other night my oldest and I were chatting as he was in bed and I was at the door. He asked me to turn off his light and I asked him if I could do anything else for him. He got this grin and said, "Snug as a bug in a rug?" I said yes, which he couldn't believe, and I did it. We ended up giggling so hard, we had the best laugh, and as I turned out his light I could see he just looked so pleased and bemused. Haha. His brother was also going to bed, so I offered snug as a bug in a rug to him too. He said yes, again, full of giggles that were still happening as I closed his door. It doesn't matter how old you are. You are never too old to be snoogaysabug or rug. Edit. Whoa, I'm so glad that this brought so many nice memories back for people. For those that don't have those memories, I don't either, but I'll offer to snug as a bug in a rug you. Thanks for all of the awards. Using your imagination. Also, dinosaur chicken nuggets. Edit. Thank you so much for the awards and upvotes. Yeah, also I'm so happy to see so many of you of varying ages are enjoying those Dino Nuggies. Cartoons. I still watch cartoons and I don't care who knows it. Looney Tunes, Rugrats, Scooby-Doo, love it, and pretending the empty wrapping paper tube is a lightsaber. One of my favorite silly memories of the last year my dad was alive was we came into my room and started bonking me with empty wrapping paper roll, then walked downstairs. As soon as he left the room I dug through my drawer to find the toy lightsaber my friends had got me and rushed downstairs. Obviously not the quietest act in the world, so when I got to the bottom of the stairs my dad was sort of waiting to find what the rush was all about. Instead he saw the lightsaber and we had a lightsaber versus wrapping paper tube fight for a few minutes. He was 60 and I was 22. You are never too old for those moments. Spontaneous fun and created a memory I treasure. Anything you enjoy that doesn't hurt others. Watch the movies you want, animated or not, play video games, read books targeted for younger audiences, dress up, blow bubbles, be silly. If you enjoy it and it doesn't hurt others, you're never too old. About half a dozen mention Lego or cartoons or video games, but not one of you mentions board games. Now I know many will say adults play board games. My parents always played Scrabble on Sunday nights, or Monopoly on Thanksgiving or whatever. First, I know several adults who eyeball board games as kids' toys, and since they're not a kid, and don't play with dolls or action figures, they also don't play with board games. Secondly, Scrabble, Monopoly, Clue, Battleship, Connect 4, and so on are antiquated board games. What I am referring to are modern board games. Since the mid-90s, board games have had this resurgence, and by the early 2000s we're having this huge uprising in new and innovative games. The hobby is growing by leaps and bounds. Thousands of games released each year. Board game stores and cafes are popping up everywhere, yet it still feels that their hobby is mostly flying under the radar of the general public. Serious answer: I was staying over with my aunt for a few weeks for various reasons, and one time I got in from the rain. France, it rains constantly, and she was sitting alone at the kitchen table drinking a glass of wine. I gestured to the bottle and she waved like it was nothing, letting a 16-year-old drink a glass of wine. Because, you see, to her it wasn't because she had received the news that her cancer was terminal and would likely see her die for the end of the ski season, which was weeks away. So it came to pass, she was 44. I'm currently 41 and also have cancer, though mine gives me a decent shot at survival. Let's hope so, eh? She said to me words that I have lived by: you never really get old. You just get older. I look in shop windows, or I did when they were open, and I think, who's that old woman? The answer, of course, is that it's me. I'm forever 16 in my mind. The answer to your question is everything. Nobody truly grows up, they just get older and then die, wondering what the hell happened. I'm a grown-ass chef. People definitely see me as a hard ass because of my profession. I still rock Disney soundtracks while prepping. It gets you going and will undoubtedly put you in a good mood. Also, puppies and pretty much any animal. Never too old to get excited about animals. Honestly, the older I get, the more I encourage myself to enjoy what I did as a kid: occasional fruit snacks, cartoons, etc. Life is too fucking short to be an adult all the time. Edit, on mobile. I also felt like adding that the owners of the last restaurant I worked at had a 2-year-old that cheered whenever a train went by. Try it out the next time you see one. No matter how stupid you might feel, it will make you smile. Taking an honest look at your life, the relationships, directions, obstacles, and desires, then reevaluating how important all your goals are and how many of them are unrealistic or borrowed from others. Then, try living in a way that honors what is important each and every day. Even if you fall short, living consciously is worthwhile. Play, pure, innocent, silly play. Too many people are wrapped up in being mature and acting like an adult that they've completely eliminated a basic part of the human condition: to experience and interact with joyful and innocent abandon, and then everyone wonders why adults are so miserable. Watching anime, watching cartoons, playing video games, drinking chocolate milk, eating pizza Lunchables, etc. Have water balloon fights in the summer, snowball fights in the winter, etc. Just enjoying your life. If it's fun and you aren't hurting yourself and aren't hurting others, go for it. You only get one life. Live it. I feel bad for the adults who take being an adult way too seriously, without having any hobbies or anything like that. Have fun with your life. Anything you want to. My husband and I make it a point to buy crap we wanted as kids for gifts. This year alone we have gotten Heelys and a telescope. Do and learn what you want. Watch cartoons. Whatever. Popsicles, Pez, stuffed animals, blanket forts, splashing in puddles after it rains, putting your hand out the car window and pretending it's an airplane wing, blowing on a fluffy dandelion, fuzzy socks, chicken nuggets, chocolate milk. Being proven wrong and accepting criticism. Just because you think you're old or experienced, doesn't mean you're always going to be right or even good at something. Continuing to learn and growing is something that shouldn't ever stop with age. And if someone younger than you is teaching you, then treat them with respect. Whether they're 1 year or 25 years younger than you, their 10 years of experience is still more valuable to learn from than your 1 day of experience. Don't let your age hold you back from enjoying new things. Sit on your mom's lap and let her rock you. I'm not trying to ruin good vibes, but my mom died of cancer when I was 19. I was in the army and grew up a mama's boy. When I come home on leave when she was sick, I asked her what she wanted more than anything and I would get it for her. She was sitting in her rocking chair and she asked me to come sit on her lap so she could rock me. I still tell people that story today cause it makes me smile. No need to feel sorry. She was an amazing woman and I have made complete peace with the fact she is gone. But if your mom ever wants to rock you like a baby again, show her love. Doing a cannonball into the pool, licking cake batter off of the spoon, dancing around your room to your favorite song, staying up late talking to your best friends, telling your friends you love them, playing silly games, sledding, all of the little joys we steal from ourselves because we think we've outgrown them. Stuffed animals, watching cartoons, baths. I guess the difference lies in moderation, lol, but really, who cares? It's your life. If you want a bed covered in stuffed animals, go for it. Running anywhere in public as an adult doesn't really work out though. People get alarmed like you're running from something bad or you are doing something bad, depending on the place. But sometimes you just got other shit to do and you don't want to spend 15 minutes walking somewhere you could get into if you ran, lol. Everything. I think the idea that you're too old to enjoy anything is a silly idea. Anyone of any age can and should try to enjoy as many things as they can. I enjoy a ton of things that are considered kiddie by many, but I still love it. Being young at heart helps keeps the body young too. Age is but a number and to get caught up in it is an issue too many people seem to have. Wonder and awe at the simple things, innocent affection, and just plain silliness. We often forget some key things that nourish our souls in our quest to be seen as adults, until we grow even older, start taking care of kids, and are around those traits again. Disney movies. Example, my dad likes Disney movies and sometimes listens to Mona's How Far I'll Go. I'm an adult and I like both Frozen movies and Mona. Honestly, Lego and Mega Block, cause like, it's not hurting anyone, it's completely legal, it's cheaper than a lot of conventional models and easier to put together, it's relaxing sometimes to put some blocks together, and they make nice collector pieces and decorations. 100% recommend, especially if you have nostalgia with them, cause it'll give that sweet nostalgia rush. Enjoying a slip and slide, all that changes to the velocity of your launch down it. Advent calendars, proper one with chocolate or Lego inside, a nice cup of tea with chocolate hobnobs on a cold day. Coloring. Next time you see a kid, works better if you know the kid. Browse their coloring book and you might find some pages that are perfectly within the lines. Also variety of choice colors used. There was likely an old guy or dad or mom, grandma, etc. that still likes to color. In fact, the older I get, the prouder I am of achieving those number one positions. I went from Nintendo 64 to the mobile app and then Nintendo Switch. I know I missed a few, but those are the ones I got to play regularly. I only played Super MK once and the graphics hurt my eyes so much. They were such poor quality too and set at the highest brightness or something, like the glaring shine of casino games, almost hypnotic. Looking forward to ice cream, dessert after dinner, watching animated movies, TV shows, popping bubble wrap, making friends, being curious, and having fun. Watching cartoons, it's the funniest thing. Yes, I'm an adult, 31, I still love my cartoons and I have worked with people and they sort of whispered to me, I am so glad I have nieces because then I have an excuse to watch cartoons, and I am just like, how the hell is it anyone's business what I watch in my own home in my own spare time? I like good cartoons. I actually feel like cartoons can have such impactful storytelling. Avatar: The Last Airbender is timeless and for all ages. Everybody can enjoy it. Yes, I highly enjoyed the DuckTales reboot. I thought it was such a delightful show, and I am happy to give my coworkers cartoon recommendation. And funny thing too, it's like they are scared to admit they like cartoons and would watch them for their own sake. But when openly and happily talk about it, guess what? No one has made fun of me for it. Nobody. It's an odd stigma we have that adults shouldn't watch cartoons, and yet no one will look down on you for doing it because we all have that one cartoon we like anyway. So what's the deal? I'm very much looking forward to the next season of The Dragon Prince on Netflix, and you can't stop me. Most things, if not all. It's stupid to let the thought that you're an adult keep you from the things that bring you joy. Yeah, some people might judge you, but those squares can fuck right off. I'd say the only exception is when your participation would make it less enjoyable for actual children, like an adult in the bouncy castle. Pretty much anything that's not hurting other people. Games, never too old unless it's a physical game that your body can't handle. Shows, who cares when 90% of all popular media is objectively low-effort trash hobbies? Seriously, what's the problem? There's too much that is bad in life to give up the small things that make you happy. I'm 37M, I'll never outgrow. Fart jokes, watching old Disney movies alone, Blackbeard's Ghost and Escape to Witch Mountain FTW, playing dodgeball, blowing out birthday candles, building gingerbread houses, getting drunk with a group and loudly singing nursery rhymes, roasting hot dogs and s'mores over a real fire, answering. And don't call me Shirley. Every time someone uses the word Shirley, doing maths flashcards as fast as I can just to see if I still have it, or to flex over my kid nieces and nephews, hugging, paying to speak with them all set up and saying, I'm starting to think that you're not real, but I'll give you one more shot. Then delivering the most inappropriate Christmas wish list I can with a straight face, handing out insane amounts of candy to each individual trick-or-treater, cannonballs at the swimming pool, licking batter off of the spoon and mixing bowl, laughing so hard you blow your drink out of your nose, taking an afternoon nap, high-fiving a car salesman, and hot cocoa. Being an addict, went 7 years without smoking. Picked up a cigar and immediately started smoking again. Started off every few months, then every other week, then every weekend, now once a day. I'm afraid if I don't get a handle on this soon, it will be a big problem once again. I'm also 7 years sober. God forbid I ever drink alcohol. Walking up early on your day off to enjoy a ridiculously sugary bowl of cereal and some cartoons. I try to abstain from sugar as much as I can now that I'm nearly 35, but I keep an emergency stash of Fruity Pebbles in the cupboard when adult life is just too unrelenting and I get that all too familiar feeling of overwhelming hopelessness. I'll break out the tactical Fruity Pebbles, throw on my Xbox 360 jammy pants, and fire up some old 90s cartoons I have on my hard drive for exactly these occasions. The cereal tastes exactly how I remember as a kid, and hearing the Pinky and the Brain theme song will take me back just enough to have a few moments of peace before I return to back pain and bills. Taking baths, one of the best ways to distress and recover, yet so many people scoff at the idea of a grown man taking a bath. As far as I have seen, most of them are unhealthy, overly stressed, and don't take care of themselves. So do yourself a favor and take a hot Epsom salt bath. Get a couple massage stones and work your muscles for the first 10 minutes or so, then just melt into the hot water like a noodle. Then, when you get out, stretch or do a foam roller, you will feel incredible and sleep like a baby. Love at first sight, and platonic love with either the same or opposite sex. When it comes to love at first sight, you have to recognize, right away, the power of what you are experiencing, and temper it, lest you risk becoming overbearing. At best, you'll know you've experienced it when you look into a person's eyes for the first time, and you either want to cry, or you do cry. Men, don't be afraid to tell your guy friends that you love them. If you feel uncomfortable with that word, find a circumlocution of some sort to essentially express the same thing. I know it can be awkward between male friends because of all the imaginary machismo bullshit, so timing and execution is everything. Don't text your friend drunk and be all "I love you broly comp" if you just can't quite bring yourself to say it. Think of something extremely thoughtful you can do for them. Rent out movie theater to watch their absolute favorite movie ever. Even if you hate it, something like that. Something that says, "Hey, man, your happiness is my drug right now." This will get buried, but you are never too old to change. Far too often I hear older people claiming that it is just not possible for them to change. Whatever behavior they are engaging in or perspectives they have is just the way that they are, and they are never going to change at their age. Anyone at any age can change, but they need to want to change. Sure, the older you are, the harder change becomes. It's so much harder to start a regular exercise program at 40 than 20. It's harder to motivate yourself to learn new skills the older you get, and it's harder to understand why the jokes you have been making about other races for 30+ years now make people wince instead of laugh. It's harder to consider whether therapy may be helpful to you after you spent years trashing the concept, but having to work harder does not mean that it is impossible.